He was a man who served in the United States Air Force. A man who was a Cub Scout leader and the president of the Christ Lutheran Church Council. A man who graduated from Wichita State University with a degree in the administration of justice. And finally, a man who happily married his loving wife Paula and raised 2 kids. There's no doubt about it, Dennis Rader was well loved by his community. He was just a simple man who installed ADT security alarms around Wichita, especially during the BTK killings. Little did they know that they had let the killer into their home. Dennis Rader, better known as the BTK killer, was born on March 9, 1945. He is the oldest of 4 sons born to Dorothea May Rader and William Elvin Rader. As a child, Rader had a relatively normal life. There appeared to be no abuse from the family, and former classmates even described him as a nice, friendly guy, although they did not know of his vile and lewd habits. He's confessed to being cruel to animals as a kid and developing a sexual fetish for women's underwear. He would often steal underpants from his victims and wear them himself. In 1971, Rader worked in the meat department at Leaker's IGA, where his mother worked as a bookkeeper. Rader also marries Paula Dietz, a 1966 graduate of Heights who had been working as a secretary at the VA hospital. From 1971 to 1973, Rader attends Butler County Community College in El Dorado. From 1972 to 1973, Rader works for Coleman Co. BTK victims Julie Otero and Catherine Bright worked at Coleman in the early 70s. In 1973, Rader returns to Wichita State University. He had briefly attended in the 1960s. January 15th, 1974. The first of Rader's many wicked crimes. Joseph and Julie Otero are strangled in their home at 803 North Edgewater, along with Josephine, age 11, and Joseph II, age 9. The family car is later found at the Dillon store at Central and Oliver. Catherine Bright, age 21, is found stabbed to death at her home at 3217 East 13th Street. Her brother is shot but survives. Police later conclude their attacker was BTK. Also, in 1974, the Wichita Eagle-Beacon is alerted to a letter found in a book at the public library. The letter includes details from the Otero crime scene that only the killer could have known. The killer first suggests that he be called the BTK Strangler, and that BTK stands for bind them, torture them, and kill them. Rader then works for ADT Security from November 1974 to July 1988. In 1975, Rader's son is born. March 17, 1977. Shirley Vianne Relford, age 26, is found tied up and strangled in her house at 1311 South Hydraulic. December 8, 1977. Nancy Fox, age 25, is found tied up and strangled in her home at 843 South Pershing. BTK's voice is captured on tape when he calls an emergency dispatcher to report the homicide. February 10, 1978. A letter from BTK arrives at KAKE claiming responsibility for the deaths of Vianne Relford and Fox and an unnamed victim. In 1978, Rader's daughter is born. April 28, 1979. The killer waits inside a home at 615 South Pinecrest, but leaves before the 63-year-old homeowner returns. He later sends the woman a letter letting her know that he was there. Police think he was targeting her daughter. In 1979, Rader graduates from Wichita State University with a major in the administration of justice. August 15, 1979. Wichitans listen to repeated radio and television broadcasts of the voice of BTK from the 1977 phone call. April 27, 1985. Park City resident Maureen Hedge disappears from her home at 6254 Independence. Her home is in the same block as Dennis Rader's. It is until May 5th when her body is found. September 16, 1986. Vicki Wegerly, age 28, is strangled in her home at 2404 West 13th Street. He rearranges her dead body and takes 3 pictures of her in bondage. BTK's motive was due to a sexual sadism disorder. where he became sexually aroused in response to extreme pain, suffering, or humiliation of others. He would often try to live his sexual fantasies, as he called it, by taking pictures and making sketches of his bonded dead victims or reenact his crimes with dolls. Wegerle's family car is found 2 blocks away in the 1300 block of North Edwards. January 19, 1991, Rader's final victim, Dolores D. Davis, is abducted from her home 1/2 mile east of Park City. It isn't until February 1st that her body is found. February 16, 2005, KSAS receives communication number 11 from BTK, including a floppy disk that police traced to Rader's church. February 25, 2005, Rader is arrested less than a block from his home. An officer had asked, "Mr. Rader, do you know why you're going downtown?" Rader had replied, "Oh, I have my suspicions why." He is soon interrogated by police detectives. Wichita Police, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and ATF agents searched Rader's home and vehicle, seizing evidence including computer equipment, a pair of black pantyhose retrieved from a shed, and a cylindrical container. The church he attended, his office at City Hall, and the main branch of Park City Library were also searched. On May 3rd, the judge originally entered not guilty pleas on Rader's behalf, as Rader did not speak of his arraignment. However, on June 27th, the scheduled trial date, Rader changed his plea to guilty. He described the 10 murders in vivid detail and made no apologies in the end. August 18th. Rader was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences, with a minimum of 175 years. Kansas had no death penalty at the time of the murders. On August 19th, he was moved to the El Dorado Correctional Facility, where he still remains today. Dennis Rader was a simple man, now of 74 years of age, who the community loved dearly. But the ugly truth has finally been discovered, and he will continue to pay for his crimes until his last dying breath.